This ain't the life that we chose, but it's the life that we live in. Know we belong on the top, but we ain't trippin', cause we'll get there in a minute. And we'll get there in a minute, cause we'll get there in a minute.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is We'll Get There in a Minute podcast. It's our first episode. I'm here with three of my closest friends, and I'm gonna let them introduce ourselves, but pretty much how we wanted to get into this podcast, we're in a group chat, and we say a lot of things daily that we're like, man, there's some things people need to hear, whether it's, talking about the Black experience, athlete, just a Black man, a Black businessman, Black owner, Black worker, whatever it is, the Black experience. We're going to talk about sports, politics, pretty much everything, and then also the hard shit that make people uncomfortable, you know what I mean, in a funny way, and also a serious way, a very positive way, but very thought-provoking. So we want to make sure we're touching on every single one of those topics, and just do a little bit different. We want to encompass everything and talk about a bevy of different things, and we want to make sure we're just having people always giving that information. And we always say we're not for everybody, but in realistic terms, we are for everybody, because we are going to talk about, like I said, shit that's uncomfortable. So people that don't want to hear it probably should hear it, and we're going to give it to you raw and uncut. Who I am, Trevor Cosson. I am owner of AIM Precision, co-owner, founder, actually with one of my partners in Derek Session, who is a receivers coach. And what is AIM Precision is we teach young kids and mentor young kids pretty much the game of football, but also about the game of life and what goes into it, and being pretty much prepared for that college. My background, I've played for the University of Maine in football. I went on and got a chance to have a couple of cups of coffee for the Detroit Lions, Chicago Bears, and in the CFL. But less about me and more of my three closest friends. So I'm in the chat. So without further ado, I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. First person we're gonna bring it to is Kevin Fenor. Man, introduce yourself. Tell us about who you are, what do you do, and whatever you want to say.
Yeah. So how's it going, everybody? My name's Kev. I'll go by Kev in this one. I'll be one of the more controversial individuals in general.
Definitely.
So
insane.
during 9 to 5 or 8 to 4, depending on what time you get to work, I'm usually an assistant director of admissions at a local college. Do some recruiting. I travel, do some information sessions, interact with students and their families, and try to portray the college in the best light possible. But on my weekends and off days, I hang with the fellas, have a couple drinks, enjoy some greenery, both outdoors, indoors. I like to take hikes, climb mountains, do some active stuff. I'm expecting my first child, so that's going to be some different things.
Hey, clap that up, right?
It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be exciting.
Yeah. Baby
I'll just say I got a lot of opinions. Not all of them want to be heard, but I'll do my very best to explain them.
Yeah, some of them shit.
Make sure they get out there. Yeah, some of them. But when they get out,
then we're gonna pass it off to we're gonna get into how we met. So, but this is my big brother, my older brother, Damon Gordon, but he goes by Big DZ, aka Big Turbo, whatever he wants to call himself. We're gonna let him explain himself.
Listen, before I get into me, I'm gonna let y'all know as far as this AIM shit goes, I'm the executive ambassador of AIM.
Okay. Facts. That is facts.
Shirt me on my title.
My fault.
Wait till y'all see this jacket this summer. I promise you it ain't coming. I promise you it ain't coming. Yeah, it's DZ, aka Big Turbo, aka Dad Hat DZ, aka Big Sexy, aka the heavyweight that'll make your girl levitate. You heard?
Hey!
You heard? You heard?
Okay,
right.
That was aggressive.
I ain't mad at that.
I wasn't expecting that.
That's personality right there.
Yeah.
As you can see right there, Maine is what brought us together. Trevor's my younger brother, but as far as all of us, what we share in college is the great state of Maine. It's done very good to us. Right, I am an outside sales rep / real estate agent / looking for more business ventures to get into. I'm just a hustler by nature.
AKA and slash, man. That boy's AKA and slash whatever I'm going to do with that.
You know the vibrations.
You know the vibration.
The vibration. What my brothers doing what we do, man.
Hey,
You know what I mean?
Okay.
We do on a daily basis, man.
And last but not least, we got our brother over here. Hey, Mr. Baltimore, aka Eric Session, whatever he want to turn, man. Talk about
already. Yeah, so I'm Derek Session. As Trev just said, I'm one of the legs, one of the partners in this whole AIM thing. Like Trev said, I'm from Baltimore City, East Baltimore to be exact. You know, from the AKAs, I guess you can call me the human contradiction, because I'm gonna say something. One day I might say this, one other day I might say that. At the end of the day, we all contradict ourselves, and it's this whole thing for me is to really get a lot of shit off my chest, put some context to it, because a lot of the things I'm going to say shouldn't be put on social media. Shouldn't be put on social media, because you're gonna ruffle a few feathers, and people might take out of context what you say. And it's gonna be some contradictions said, like I said. So at the end of the day, oh yeah, I do sales, and I do sales too. But I'm gonna leave my job out of this, because I don't want them associated with some of the things I'm going to say. They can see it. I'm sure I'll say everything I say on here to them, but I don't want to attach them to this. And above all, I'm a husband and a father, 2 kids, and at the end of the day, that's who I do it for. So that's that.
All right.
Boy, hit it on that.
I was staying surface level. I'm over here up top. Y'all over here. Y'all diving deep.
Let's get there.
Well, me and my man like, nah, I'm gonna go a little deeper.
All right.
So everybody got a chance to know. We are funny. We're very contradictory. We got, Mr. We got all type of names, everything. I like to say I have a PhD in playing devil's advocate. So as you go on with that, you'll see. But not only are we just 4 Black brothers and doing this we actually all have degrees. And you could do the research and whatever you want to call, what is the ratio, or how many brothers get degrees or whatever. Yeah, whatever, cool. We all got those. Some of us have our masters, whatever the case may be. So not only are we just talking shit, we come from an intelligent place in what we're doing it. So we're going to cheers to that. Because there's 4 Black brothers in here with degrees. So we're going to make sure you're watching this. We're not just people that just play sports or just came from wherever in our backgrounds. We got papers to prove that too. So, hey, we're going to get into a little bit more. Everybody knows it's a quarantine life. What is going on? What's going on?
What's happening?
I can tell you what's not happening.
Talk about it. That's what we want to know. We want to, we're going to get it out the way. There's an elephant in the room. And I guess we're going to do it right now. The question is, do you need to wear deodorant or not?
Oh, yeah, already.
Yeah. Cam, take the lead,
right now.
Okay. All right, so listen. The question is, I'm going to repeat the question to make sure everybody's aware. The question is, while you're on quarantine, in your home, do you have to apply deodorant? My perspective,
we're going to let it be.
My perspective is no.
Oh, my God.
If you're not expected to interact. Hold on, so wait, y'all already. I can't get a flow. I can't get anything.
I'm sorry. My bad.
You might have to mute you. You might have to mute yourself if you gonna have some outbursts.
He's allowed to laugh. Go.
All right. So listen, this is my take. If you're not interacting with anyone outside of your household and you're hydrating properly during quarantine, your body odor shouldn't be that crazy. If you're working out, like I work out and then I hop in the shower directly afterwards.
Okay.
So my interactions while I'm funky are very minimal. Ooh. I will say I haven't been hydrating the way that I should lately. So
Okay. So you are funky. Okay, we got you.
There are times.
You're catching what you putting down.
There are times, but in general, so putting on deodorant daily shouldn't be it's not the same as brushing your teeth every day. And I think that's what, in general, I feel like you're equating it to that or taking the shower. And it's not. Deodorant, especially the type of deodorant that you use, if it's an antiperspirant, I'm not even going to get on that. But
yeah, go ahead, please. Anybody take this.
So as far as contradiction goes, Kev's saying that putting on antiperspirant every day is not the same as brushing your teeth. But if you actually do your research, fluoride toothpaste is just as deadly as antiperspirant deodorant.
Oh, that boy came with science.
Okay, so hold
So
on.
no. If we're really talking scientific facts that you're trying to bring up for not smelling good daily, fluoride toothpaste is just as harmful as antiperspirant deodorant. So that was a terrible argument.
Okay, so one, you're assuming that my you're assuming. All right, so listen, I would say fluoride. You said fluoride toothpaste. Fluoride is added. We're from some of the biggest cities in America. Fluoride is added to the water source.
By the way, what he means is us three are from New York and Sessions from Baltimore.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So
Where
we're
we at
from
now?
bigger cities. I understand what you're saying, but in general, you have wells, you have city water. There's different situations when you come to a place like Maine. But in general, growing up in a bigger city, fluoride is added to the water. So it's not that it's something that's going to kill you, but like it's a choice. Drinking tap water is a choice that people can make whether or not they have the money to drink it. The type of deodorant you use and what you put on your body is something that you choose
I
as
think
well.
it should be a law that if you're over 250 pounds, you must. And when I say must, when I say must, I put like exclamation points on that shit. I underline it. I bold it. I italicize that shit. You should wear deodorant. Why? I understand what you're saying, though, Kev. I've heard people talk about as far as like you being able to get breast cancer and stuff like that from deodorant. I'm not sure how many men I know who have had breast cancer. I'm sure the odds aren't that high for a man to get breast cancer.
You say that, but again, how often is a man going to disclose? Right.
I'm assuming.
Men are prideful. How often is a man going to say, yeah, I got breast cancer. I'm dealing with that, you know. I'm not talking about just a man just saying it. I'm just saying statistics. Okay, if we looked at the statistics, I would assume that it's very unlikely for a man to get breast cancer. Right.
I have gotten, like when I go to sleep at night, I get in the shower, I might not throw deodorant on. I'm about to hop into bed. I don't want to put the deodorant on under my arms. But when I wake up in the morning, first thing I do, wash my face.
Regardless of what you're doing that day.
Regardless of what I'm doing, cuz I sweat.
Nasty.
Oh, okay. So sweating is part of that. Your body is meant to do that.
I'm not saying
that's
it doesn't.
a part of your. So would you ever like? Yeah, crazy, bro. So okay, would you ever?
Also crazy too,
do you rub deodorant on your forehead? You rub deodorant on your forehead when you leave the house, so you don't
It's
sweat.
not in the pit of my body. It's not gonna smell.
Yeah,
that's like your basement. When you have moisture in your basement in a dark place, and you have moisture there, you're gonna have smells. You're gonna have different kind of shit that happens there.
Yeah, you're making yourself sound like
this guy just equate armpits with forehead sweat.
Listen, you said sweat. You're trying to stop yourself from sweating. There's nothing wrong with sweat. Your body sweats to cool itself down. If you're hydrating properly, your sweat shouldn't be that off-putting, unless again you are really exerting yourself.
Kev, can you
like that's not that far-fetched.
So people know your exact size of a human being you are.
Yeah.
Can you give us those vitals?
Oh, most definitely. I'm about 6'2".
Okay.
And I would say
on a good day.
I'm around right now. I'd say somewhere between 260 and 270.
Jesus Christ.
So you're a large.
I'm a large human being. I'm a large mammal. Is the way that I like to put it. I'm a large mammal.
Okay. However you want to explain.
Any person who refers themselves as a mammal should be wearing deodorant.
You're gonna add that into your law too.
And you know what? We're gonna figure out if there's more people on your side. Eventually, hopefully, there's gonna be people that can hit us up and let us know if they want to be in the world funky too. You know what I'm saying?
I hope not.
So hold on. The crazy thing is that you're just equating not wearing deodorant with being funky.
Only because of experience.
Yes.
It doesn't go hand in hand. Okay, so we'll also go to the fact that you're saying that I shouldn't wear an all natural deodorant because it doesn't work as well. Or
I didn't say that.
Huh? Okay.
No. I'll say that.
I wanted to get it clear.
At 260 pounds, yes. Natural deodorant does not work for you. No.
It does.
No, absolutely
coming
not.
From experience.
Okay.
Coming from experience, natural deodorant don't work for me.
It doesn't.
So I'm gonna go.
My
All
8-year-old.
right, so you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go into my pockets. I'm gonna make sure you each get a gift of the deodorant that I use, and I want you to try it for a week.
No,
Can we do that?
I don't
No,
want
no,
to waste your money.
I get it in bundles. Don't worry, I get it in
I got a
bundles.
Save
sensitive
your money.
nose, bro.
Save your
I
money.
got a sensitive nose. I can't be out
Save
here.
your money. Get some tissue.
So hold on, we gotta try this though. You can't say that it's not gonna work for you unless you give it the
It
due
doesn't work
diligence.
for my 8-year-old seed.
So listen, we'll try it. We'll try it. We'll try it first. We'll get back to
now
it.
that we got that, so right now we've been in quarantine for what, 3-4 weeks?
Yeah.
Too long.
Too long.
Too long.
I hope that you have
More
put
than
on
a
some
month.
deodorant between that time space.
Maybe once in the last month.
God.
That's aggressive.
What are
You're playing with fire.
No. This is out of hand.
And the one time was when I went to the hospital because I had to accompany the wife to an appointment. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna be in public, and I'm gonna be doing some work. I'm gonna have some layers on. So if I do perspire, right, you see, so in those situations,
We're gonna move on from this because we've been quarantined too long for you to only put on deodorant maybe once. Maybe.
So your wife is
month.
pregnant and you're not that considerate with her at home dealing with you?
Sensitive to smells.
okay, so listen,
She's
if
the real goat.
I were to be
She's
funky, my wife would tell me. We have a relationship. If
She's
my feet
probably used to
smell
it at this
every
point.
once in a while, she'll let me know.
Can I get something in here?
Your feet
Yo,
are funky.
she deals with horses in the
happens.
stable.
That was. Thank you, DZ. That was going to be my. She grew up
That's
on
really horses.
That's really
Your wife's
Whoa,
good.
occupation is very unique as far as what she is able to smell and tolerate.
She's an equestrian. Like this is basic to her.
Yo, this is
She
funny.
deals with animals more than anybody.
Okay.
So
That's probably why
as
she
you
fell in
describe
love.
yourself
I
as
see.
an animal, that smell is a little different. That's all I'm
I
gonna say.
can't.
I love
You know what I
cattle.
mean?
Hold on. You know how on that Febreze commercial
That's a good one.
when they say your nose get like
Nose
adjusted and
blind?
shit? Yeah. I think that's what happened. She's around around the horses all day. She's in the clinic, and then she comes around you, and she's like, "Oh, this is a familiar smell." So
Yo,
it all
that's
it
a
all
lot of
goes together.
assumptions going on.
That's crazy. So
That's
is
all we
she
can
like
do.
Get Out right now? Like that movie Get Out? Like wow.
You're
Hey,
a fool,
so
bro.
we gonna leave this like this. Is deodorant? What did Seth say? Deodorant should be a law if you're over a certain amount of weight, right?
Yeah.
Was that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're
100%.
gonna leave- what is the weight, Sesh? What is the weight you're saying it should be a law?
I
It
think
all
a
depends
law-
on how someone
a
takes
law?
care of themselves.
No.
You said it should be a law that we gotta wear deodorant. What's the law?
I think
We're
if
gonna
you're
make a question
230,
that presents: should this be a law?
100%.
I say 230. 200, no, fuck that. 190 pounds.
Yeah,
If you're a grown
thank
man,
you. Thank you.
You too.
you
Thank
should be
you.
wearing deodorant.
Thank you. I say
if
200 max. 200
If
max.
you're a grown man,
Every day in your own house, regardless of what you're doing.
That's a fact.
you get maybe
Well,
a one. I'm gonna grant you a 1 day pass. I'm devil's advocate. 1 day
Not
pass.
a 260. No, not a 260.
1 day
That's
pass.
gross. That's nasty.
outrageous,
No,
bro.
260. That's nasty. Every
So
single
we're gonna
day.
leave it up to the hopefully we get some people to vote. Should there be a law that you need to wear deodorant if you are over 200 pounds and a grown ass man? We're gonna put it that way. If you're a
And you
grown
know
man,
he's walking the dogs. You know he's
Yeah,
walking the
hold on,
dogs.
so
You
hold
know, he
on.
walks
That's
to work.
terrible.
The question
No.
you're asking is during quarantine. Let's be clear here.
oh,
I'm not saying that during, like, when I go to work, when I'm
perfect, even
like
better.
doing things
Right?
on a day to day that I'm not wearing deodorant. I wear all natural deodorant. But while
When
I'm
you
in
right-
quarantine, the answer is no.
So during this quarantine, about 3-4 weeks in, how many times should you have put on deodorant?
I'd say
Over 1 or less than 1?
in the last 5 weeks, I put deodorant on once.
Oh
That's
my
crazy.
God.
That's crazy. Okay, so we're gonna move on from that funky
Okay.
ass topic, right?
Okay,
We're
that's an
going-
opinion.
Wow.
Wow.
He said once in 5 weeks. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What you mean, bro? We got baby powder. Like there's other things that you could do that are a lot more all natural.
You know, baby
So-
powder is
so
not healthy for you, right?
Speaking
It's,
of
I use
deodorant,
cornstarch powder, not talcum.
speaking of deodorant, there's a person that we all know, and hopefully you guys get to. That will be what would Willie do during this quarantine? Would Willie wear deodorant or not?
Right.
And hopefully you guys get to meet Willie and find out, but we will reference Willie a lot of the time in our What Would Willie Do segment.
He
So
100% wears deodorant. He has curly hair.
Seth, do you think Willie's wearing deodorant?
Yeah, I think Willie's wearing deodorant, bro. I'm not.
Yeah.
He's probably bought in. He plays video games. He has social media. He probably wears deodorant.
Well, he wears deodorant because he plays video games.
It's a mental thing. I think the more you've bought into like what mainstream society thinks and assumes, there's so much that you'll just do because you feel like, I should be doing
mainstream,
that. Right. But the type of deodorant you use and when you use it, that's something that's drained into you that you don't even realize.
This is insane.
Okay.
Gamer.
Flexible thoughts, bro. Flexible thoughts.
The video gamer is the one that stays home all day and clicks a button. The admission guy sees people daily, and that's the guy that puts deodorant over you.
Probably.
That's crazy.
So a better question: is deodorant mainstream or not?
If you use like certain types of deodorant, it is. Yo, how many deodorant commercials do you see daily though? Old Spice is ingrained into your head.
So
body, like you feel what I'm saying? They want you to use a certain type of body wash. I use all natural body wash.
Besides not putting on deodorant during this quarantine, what else have you been doing or not doing?
Yeah, there we go.
Is maybe a better question.
In terms of grooming, I'm not shaving my face. Like I'm looking.
Let's get off the grooming part, girl. It's starting to get a little.
Yeah, we're gonna leave the grooming alone. You know, a lot of people out there. A lot of people are probably going through similar situations. It's tough for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you gonna donate deodorant to everybody?
No one's similar to Kev. He's one of one. He's one of one.
Yeah, we're moving on.
That's a statistic. We were talking about statistics earlier. He's a statistics. 1 in 4 people act like that.
If you want, Kev, you might get a lot of fans. You might get a lot of fans. Yeah. There might be a lot of people that think like you.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, patchouli.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, natural oils. See, that I had to stop because the wife wasn't for that. I had some natural oils, some ginger oil, some eucalyptus, and some lemon oils I was using every once in a while, and the wife she wasn't with that. She wasn't happy.
Thank God.
So,
holistic head right now.
Listen. If I black hippie, I'm okay with it. Black hippie, I'm with it.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be barefoot. I might wear some Birkenstocks. I won't be barefoot.
I'm gonna leave it at this. I'm not gonna say anything else about this. This is the last comment I'm gonna have on this today.
Well, I got one afterwards.
So I just find it wild.
Go ahead.
I find it wild that you bring up all these health aspects about deodorant, but you will mound your plate with bacon. And it sounds insane to me, bro. You can talk about all this eucalyptus oil, all this other shit that you're putting on I know, like your skin is considered an organ, but you're also eating bacon, bro.
Right.
That's also with a ton of like saturated fat and different shit in it. It's gonna fuck up your skin and it's gonna make your body smell a certain way.
That's a good point, but
I don't know, man. I could be wrong, man. I'm wrong. I'm wrong a lot, man. I'm wrong a lot.
I hear what you're saying, but also you try to eat meats that is like more farm fresh or like things along those lines. You try to get it from better sources. I get my bacon from a chain, like a big box store.
Okay,
I'd say I'm not getting that, but every once in a while. You got jokes, but every once in a while you'll get like a half a pig.
Mainstream bacon Kev, man, and underground deodorant. Boy, yo, that's crazy. That's different. That's different.
How is it? Okay, so listen. All right, but you're equating something. You don't eat bacon as often as you put on deodorant. So what are you saying?
Well, technically, how many times have you eaten bacon during this quarantine?
More than once in 5 weeks.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly.
So you might actually eat bacon more than you put on deodorant.
During quarantine, yes.
You Main Street hypocrite.
All right, bro.
This is This
This
is
is
why
crazy.
we
This is
He's
crazy.
from
this conversation.
He's from
This
Brooklyn,
conversation
New
right
York.
Yeah, you're right.
These views come from a person from New York City.
But listen,
This
these
is
views have
terrible.
changed
No.
since I've learned a lot more. I like in high school, I had to wear you have to wear deodorant daily.
Because you were the biggest kid in high school.
Right, that's
You
a good
stunk if you
point.
didn't wear nothing
Exactly.
changes though. man.
Exactly.
You
But
not
when I was
much
home, I don't
older,
even think in high school when I was home, I don't think I wore deodorant when I was home.
You definitely
Maybe
would.
I probably did. My mom would have said something. You're right. Because
So
in high school, you a little
you're
funky.
disobeying your mom. So should we get your mom on the podcast? You put on deodorant?
Hold up.
Like, this is terrible.
When you're in high school, you don't got control of everything. You're not doing things the right way. You still growing as a young man. So there's a lot that you don't got, especially.
Wild conversation. By the way, happy belated birthday because you did just turn 31 and DZ too. Well, now he's not 31. DZ's older than
Quarantine birthday.
Wow. That's what we
fault.
did?
My fault, big bro. But besides the fact, this is that's why we are. We'll get there in a minute. We have just went off about the fact is this man doesn't wear deodorant during quarantine, which is
Insanity.
I don't even know what the point that we're going to get to.
It's a thought
But
process.
it's a thought process. I don't know the thought process behind that. It's crazy. It's crazy.
You'll get there in a minute, Trev. You'll get there in a minute.
We will eventually. Hopefully.
You'll come around. You'll come around.
Kev gonna have a cold. Kev gonna have a cold of people that don't wear deodorant.
Listen. Y'all all eventually within the next week, you'll have a nice little package of some all-natural deodorant that I want y'all to try for a 7-day trial. And if you try it and if it doesn't work, you'll come back to me. We'll have a follow-up discussion. That's it. It's you gotta have your own opinion on how it works for you.
But see, the problem is,
it's
like you gotta have people that are honest with you though. Like I don't think besides people that we work in the same space, obviously. So you can come to my office if you think, and you come to my office, I'm gonna tell your ass you funky as hell. That's because the relationship we got. Now on the same thing, you could be funky for 5 hours before you got to the lunch break in the office and we linked up. Ain't nobody gonna tell you that because you are 6'2".
That's a very good point.
You got Julie in the corner office over there trying to figure out how to break it the 250-pound cab that he smelled like cattle.
I don't want to upset him.
Yeah, I got jokes.
Try to bring it up to HR.
Let's get it right. This is a during quarantine situation. In the work setting, that is not the case at all. I am quite presentable. I swear, this is like my weekend disguise. When you see me during a weekday, you be like, I don't even recognize this gentleman. Obviously, you would because I'm still a 6'2".
I was on campus. I recognize you. I said, that's Kev.
Yeah, we recognize you, bro. We recognize you.
Yeah.
All right, listen. These are people that have known me for almost 10 years now, close to it. 13. I can, my memory. 2020.
So, the unique thing about all of us in this room is actually how we've all met was through college.
Right.
Except for obviously me and my brother, we've known each other our entire lives because we're brothers. But everybody else, we met through the University of Maine, which is a rare occurrence. So I don't know. I don't want to get into details too much, but pretty much want to explain this.
I'll start.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's some interesting stories, some weird connections. I'd say so. First off, when you play football in the city, something you look forward to is being named an all-city football player, right? And because you get to play against the dudes in Long Island who you don't get to play during the year. So I was named all-city my junior year. Got to go to the game, watch it. It was dope. Outback Steakhouse, get a free meal, new jerseys with your name on it, different colors. Ooh. So then the senior year, you actually get to play in the game. You get coached by some of the best coaches in the city, and you play against dudes that are supposed to be the best in New York, Long Island, 5 boroughs. This is supposed to be the game. So we go to this game. We have a meetup practice where this NFL player comes in and talks to both teams. And I'm like, yo, these pretty-ass dudes do not want any sauce. And, of course, 2 of my future teammates were on that all-city Long Island team, Trevor Costin and another young man who ended up playing tight end for us. So I see Trev. We talk, whatever. We played the game. I can't remember who won, but I think I won't get there. We'll get there in a minute eventually. We'll come back to it. I got to do some research. Can't remember who won that game. But
Here in a minute.
right, yeah, we'll get there. So the first recruiting trip that I go on was to CW Post. And I'm like, yo, that dude looked real familiar. I feel like I've seen him somewhere before. And of course, we were both at the All-City game, went on recruiting trips to a local school in Long Island just to see, make sure we had options, fallbacks, and all those things. And then eventually, you end up going to one of your top schools or the schools that you had, like, other than your Division I school, because we'll get to that, obviously. You get recruited by bigger schools, and then you have other fallbacks. They send your tape somewhere. They call a coach here, make sure they got a scholarship, all that good stuff. So we end up at the University of Maine on a cold-ass weekend in January, the weekend before the Super Bowl. And obviously, this is one of the last recruiting weekends. They bring everybody up. And I'm like, yo, that's that dude again, bruh. Like, I know this dude from somewhere. And, of course, it's Trev. And we up at the same recruiting trip again. And I think Trev might have committed within the next week, and I committed within the next week or so. Both had issues coming up because of clearinghouse.
A lot of issues.
Bunch of nonsense. We won't even get into that 4-letter word. We'll keep that 4-letter word for another time. But that clearinghouse is something else. And then we both ended up committing, made our way up there sometime during that fall. And it's been history ever since. Got into fist fights, arguments, everything that you would do in general with someone that you'd call your brother in the end. So, and Derek, we ended up meeting up at the University of Maine, obviously. We had our spats. Nobody could really understand his accent at first. Things like Buick was Bert, John is Bert.
Yeah.
So once we had one of our other teammates from Washington, D.C. kind of translate, we were able to bring that shit to the crew. But yeah, and then DZ came up. He always was a big brother figure. We felt like we had a bit of direction from someone who's lived some life, been through some things, give you a little bit of direction here and there. Not always the most sane or a just advice, but it'll make you think twice, and you'll always have a good time when you hang with my boy DZ. So I'd say a big bro influence and a brother for sure. But yeah, that's my rant. I went off a little bit.
It's all good, bro.
It's
all good.
Makes sense.
Oh yeah, well, for me, it was somewhat a little different. Well, I started playing football when I was 8, so I knew I wanted to play football. That's all I really knew at that time. What I wanted to do was play football. So I played for the Northwood Rams, arguably the best Pop Warner youth football team ever assembled, period.
Okay.
I'm not saying just in Baltimore City. I'm saying in the United States.
We're not going to go there.
United States.
I'm going to let you have it right now. I don't want to Kanye West.
Wow, that's going to be a whole other episode.
I'm just telling you, I'm speaking truth. And I know my fellow Northwood Rams know what I'm talking about.
Huntington Bulldogs will smack you. That's all I know. We're going to let that be.
Not in the... But anyway, we got the national championships to back that up. So I ain't talking just the locals, but it's okay. We're going to, like I said, we're going to get there in a minute.
We will.
Yeah. So, and from Northwood, I went to the Dunbar High School. It's no arguments about it. The best football program in Baltimore City. It's hands down. But as far as that goes, I was fortunate enough to have the same coaches I had from Pop Warner be my coaches in high school. So I had a rapport with these guys. These are the guys who taught me how to play football. And Baltimore City isn't known for football. We're known for a few things, but football isn't one of them. Today we got a much better football class. Kids coming out, recruits and everything like that, coming out of Baltimore City now because of some of the groundwork that guys like myself and Tavon Austin's of the world, the guys in his class, all those guys we kind of laid a foundation as far as like football, and it's kind of somewhat changed the way people view Baltimore City football. But if you were from Baltimore, you played basketball, you were in sports, or you were even in the streets. I wasn't in the streets, and I'm athletic, but I ain't have a jump shot, so I played football and I played baseball. You know? From there, I played linebacker. That was like my main position in high school. That's what I got recruited for by everybody. I had coming into my senior year, I had scholarship offers from UNC and UVA. So as a 17-year-old kid, or 16-year-old kid at the time, going into my senior year, I turned 17 my senior year. Makes you feel a little arrogant. Get you a little arrogant. It's not a lot, like I said, there's not a lot of people from Baltimore that goes and play football in college, let alone go to college, period. And now I have two D1, I guess it was the FBS schools now looking after me to play football. Fast forward a little bit, SAT scores come. Wasn't quite what I needed to get, not quite what I needed to have to get in those schools. UMaine comes along. Had no idea. Obviously, I knew where Maine was, but that's about it. I knew nothing about Maine. The coach came into the office, talked to us about it, and honestly, I really wasn't listening to what the fuck he was saying. But he gave us a book, and when they came to offer me a visit, I went back and looked at the book, and was like, at the time, I believe Maine had the most NFL players from a D1 AA school. So that was the first thing that caught me. So, wow, all right, I take my visit. My very first visit outside of me going to UNC or UVA. I come up, they have like a little luncheon, we sit down, it's like a little family gathering. I'm like, all right, this is a real cliche. See how this is gonna go. And my guys from UMaine, the guys on this that we talking to, Trev, Deezy, Kev, everybody knows Ty Jones. Everybody knows Ty Jones. Ty Jones was my host. Another Maryland cat. Where did Ty go to school? Anyway, it don't matter. It don't matter. But Ty,
I know where he went. Good counsel.
There you go. He went to good counsel. But anyway, Ty, we leave the event. The first thing Ty say, "Oh, you drank?" At the time, yeah, we go out. I was out and about every once in a while when I was in high school. Me and my mans, and then we might split four or five of us might split a fifth or a pint, some naughty head or something like that. But I ain't never had my own bottle at that point. I wasn't at that stage yet. I wasn't getting my own bottle. So remember, I'm in high school. So he said, "What you want to drink?" You know, I drank gin. You know, get the gin. I ain't make it out the first night. I was having a good time. Playing beer pong, everything. I make it out. Next night, all right, I'm gonna switch it up on him. I'm gonna get some absolute. You give me some vodka. Got to the party, earled all over myself, looking real pitiful in the corner. Yeah, it was that kind of. But the crazy thing is, I had a ball, bro. I had a ball. First time I ever drank like that, and the guys on the team, it just seemed like a real family-oriented program. It's not a lot of black people in Maine. You go to UMaine, it's either, if you black on campus, you either play football or basketball. At least that's what people think.
Right.
So we stayed together. We was with each other all the time. So, and that's kind of what drew me to UMaine, Maine in general. And from there, I met my wife while I was there. Now I have 2 kids living in Maine, and kind of enjoying myself, staying out the way. Really, just my big thing, staying the hell out the way. Make sure I'm taking care of my family and everything. But that's kind of how we met. It was up there. Trev was my roommate. Kev, while we dorm mates. our sophomore year. We can, some of those stories might come out on here, but I don't know. My kids might see this one day. So
I was gonna say I've been wanting to write a book, but I knew that I had to come up with some new names for everybody. So
100%.
Eventually, I'll get the memoirs.
100%.
And we got last but not least, like I said, that's on that sparked a good conversation. Was you either play basketball or you play football? There's actually somebody who went to UMaine that was black and did neither of them. So DZ, talk about how you get up there.
Yeah, I'm DZ the anomaly. I got another AKA. Pretty much how this happened. I played football all my life. And just a brief, because it was a very short college, I ended up going to Kentucky State on a lie. That didn't work out, so I stopped playing football. But, I always knew I wanted to go to college. But at that mindset, after I had a kid, I had to handle my responsibility. So I left college to handle my first child. And then a couple years later, my brother, which no surprise to me, had a scholarship to play football at a school. It was UMaine. And I'm not going to lie, I got good grades, but Maine, I couldn't point out on the map if you gave it to me blank.
Same.
So I said, okay.
We're a little more cultured in Baltimore City, bro. We're a little more cultured.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he saw a Poland Spring commercial or two.
Yeah.
I don't give it to him.
It's Deer Park, remember, though.
So being my 2.5, 3 years of being off of between college and going to Maine, I was involved in the streets a little bit, doing dumb shit, just dabbling in a little bit, just, doing what I needed to do to survive, but I always kept 9 to 5.
A little dabba-doo-ya.
So one year, Trav said, come visit me. I came visit. I seen what it was like up there. It was a lot different than the environment I was used to at home. I always had aspirations of, graduating college. That was always a goal of mine. So, I sat in a room. It was in a Roostic Hall. And I told Trev and Sesh, I said, I'm coming here. No one believed it, including, Trevor's mom, who was basically my mom too. The only thing she didn't do in my life was birth me. So that woman is mom too. So then what I did was, I worked hard for the next 4 or 5 months, saved up some money, got an apartment with, Melissa Albert, who, everybody knows from being up there. Drove up one day, signed a lease, same day drove back to New York, which is, a 15-hour trip, round trip from Orono to New York. I did it. And then one day, all of a sudden, packed the car with everything I had, all my belongings. Still no one believed I was coming. Got there, text everybody, I'm here. And basically, I, went up there, took a year off, worked, just so I can get the in-state tuition, enrolled in UMaine, got my degree. The rest is history.
That's that fortitude.
History. And mine's pretty simple, obviously. DZ touched on it, everybody touched on it. We all, got a scholarship to play there. Couldn't point it out on the map. I had 0 grades, lost every scholarship, ended up in Maine, but it was probably the best time because I got to meet the other two. Obviously, I knew DZ, so it wasn't really a big judgment of who to know somebody differently. But yeah, we've been going strong for about an hour, so I won't go into in depth about it because my story is pretty much similar to Sash or Kev's, not obviously DZ's because his is crazy. But
in depth later. We'll get to it later.
Last question before we get out of here, since we do have an all common thing of football. Cam Newton, man, is he going to return to true form or is he not?
Who we starting with?
I'll start. My point going to be quite simple. I've heard here and there that the Jaguars, Leonard Fournette, he's like, listen, come play. You want to see what you got? I think that would be an interesting mix. You got some young skill players down there. They'll still be in the South. Florida's a real accepting state for people that are a little wild and less, a little more controversial. So I think Cam coming through in Jacksonville, I can see that happening. And I think Cam's got a couple more years in him.
Okay.
He's got a couple more years.
I 100% disagree with Kev.
Whoa.
Ooh, you think Cam's done?
I think Jacksonville is tanking. They're looking more the Trevor Lawrence route. I think if Cam lands at a spot, it's either going to be the Broncos or the San Diego Chargers.
Broncos.
Cam is going to be playing with a very big chip on his shoulders. I think Carolina did him bad. If they were going to release him, I feel like they should have released him way earlier than they did. And what they did was cause a debacle to where it's last-minute scramble of who's going to want him. So I feel like it's going to be between Denver and San Diego being the best fit. I think wherever he's going to go, hopefully San Diego, he's going to ball. I think
So Kev thinks what? So you think only Jaguars can be the only fit for him, Kev? Is that what you're saying?
No. I'm saying I think that would be a good fit for him, and I think he has a couple more years. But I don't see him making a move across the country, and I just don't see that working out all that well. I can see him being someone that is a creature of comfort. Like he wants to be around something that's familiar, be around family.
DZ picked up, and DZ said 2 big teams. The Chargers.
Yeah, they got athletes.
They do.
And they got a defense. They got a defense. So if he comes back and he's doing some things, they can make some moves out there.
But the thing about it is, before I give it to Sesh is, on paper it sounds good. Jaguars, Leonard Fournette. It still matters about who you got as the OC.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
And who they got on defense.
I mean, even if talent. But even if they trade away their talent on defense, though, it's got to play into what Cam Newton's skill set is. And just looking at the Chargers kind of view, Phillip Rivers and Cam Newton are so much different.
Right.
I don't know if the OC has it in him to change this offense, or does he need to change it, and Cam's going to prove he can really sling the ball all over the place. Who knows?
Right, because I see what you're saying. He's not going to come back and be a running quarterback, like going down, trying to take those hits. He's coming off a year of injury.
Not if he want to play a couple more years.
Right, exactly.
He'll become like a running quarterback. But my thing with Cam, I don't think it really matters where he go. I think the deciding factor with Cam Newton is Cam Newton. I think Cam sometimes I love Cam as far as like the energy he brings when he playing, when everything's good, but when shit go bad, shit goes sour, he just seemed like he crawls up into a shell. So when that adversity come, I just want to see he dealing with it right now. I just need to see like where his mind is. If he really in that, is he really in the hole right now, getting it in, ready to go, or is everything, or is this like just somewhat like a market employee?
Yeah. So can I ask y'all a question before we get further? Who was Cam's best wide receiver besides Greg Olsen, who was a tight end in his career? Huh?
Steve Smith, Hall of Fame.
He had Steve Smith, and then he had a big body who got traded like last
Kelvin
season.
Benjamin.
Yeah,
but Steve Smith was a legit target.
Steve, right. How many years?
Because Steve Smith was later in his career, but as far as body of work, Steve Smith was his best target. But I can say, yes, Steve Smith was on the ladder.
And then Calvin Benjamin will be his second.
How many years did he have Steve Smith?
I think Devin Funches from Michigan.
Okay.
Right.
And what has Devin Funches done?
He balled with Cam, but I don't even know if he's still on there.
He didn't get a full season. He didn't get a full season with the Christian McCaffrey that we're seeing now.
Cam, we're talking about Cam is not as a pocket passer. Cam has never had the weapons around him to be the pocket passer. Kelvin Benjamin was always hurt. Kelvin Benjamin, yes, was a freak. Kelvin Benjamin had injury issues. Christian McCaffrey is a running back who came later in his career.
Right.
If we're going to argue that Devin Funches is his best wide receiver, There lies the problem. They had a stout defense all his career, but he's never had weapons around him
He
to
was
be
the
the
weapon.
pocket passer he needed to be. So what he did was, as a competitor and a winner, used his legs more than his arms.
But they was designed runs, guys. It wasn't just like he was deciding to run. Those were designed runs. He was the running back.
But they also had good running backs at the time. I remember they had the two-headed dragon.
They had Jonathan Stewart,
Williams and Stewart.
I know, and that's what I don't know. This is just me, like just knowing football. If you want a championship team, you build your defense and your run game. And you got a two-headed monster and you got a quarterback that can run. Cam could throw as well, but the more I run the ball, if I can run the ball at will, what you gonna do? You're gonna try to stop the run. You're gonna start stacking the box. You're gonna try to start doing blitzes and shit like that. If he pick up the blitz, the pass gonna be there. Cam won MVP. It's not the fact.
You're right, but they also lost the Super Bowl that year because he couldn't throw in the pocket. Like
Super Bowl,
his line couldn't hold up.
Like the Broncos, you have Chris Harris and dogs like that going one-on-one with your wide open receivers.
The line couldn't hold up. The line couldn't hold up. You have Harris
on Funchies. There's not much you can do.
You run the ball.
If he gets some targets, they couldn't do that.
And you're stopped. You load the box and you line your best corners with their receivers, and you stop them. You name me one team that didn't have a great receiver that won a Super Bowl.
The Patriots.
The Patriots had Julian Edelman.
The Ravens.
Baltimore Ravens.
Come on, bro. It happens all the time. The Bears.
They didn't have a great receiver.
Bears didn't win a Super Bowl, Sash.
The Bears have won Super Bowls.
I'm saying when they didn't have great receivers though.
Yeah, no.
What receivers? What great receivers was on those 70s Bears team? Can you name me a few of them?
You're talking about the 70s. Stop it, bro. We're talking
70s.
We're not gonna go that far without research.
Right, let's go back. Who won the Super Bowl? I guess they did.
Please
Ravens. I'm just trying to think of like defensive teams that won a Super Bowl. It's not that many teams that don't have.
You're right.
That don't have
because you thinking the Bucks. The Bucks at like what in the early 2000s.
Keyshawn Johnson.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. I was thinking defensive teams, bro. They were known as a defensive team.
I know one thing.
I know. You're right. You're right.
So the Ravens, the year y'all won the Super Bowl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all had Torrey Smith, right? Okay, you had Torrey Smith.
I think he's thinking further back.
Jacoby Jones is a slouch. Is he a slouch?
Who?
Yeah.
Jacoby Jones.
He's okay.
He was a jack of all trades kind of sort of. He did a little bit of everything. Right, exactly.
Jacoby Jones was good. He was not a star receiver. He wasn't a go-to receiver.
Dilfer was the QB to win it, if you want to get technical.
No, Flacco was a QB.
That's what, I'm talking about 2 different years. I was thinking exactly. Flacco.
Even then, Flacco averaged like 220 yards that year.
You had Marlon Brown, who was showing out for what you call it now.
Cause I don't even know who Marlon Brown is.
How don't you know Marlon Brown? The Ravens.
Marlon Brown's a corner.
That's awful.
Marlon Brown the corner?
Marlon Brown is the number 1 receiver for the Ravens right now. Lamar Jackson has been giving him the ball crazy.
Oh, you talking about Hollywood. Okay. Hollywood. I didn't know his first name.
Torrey Smith.
Okay.
Torrey Smith is lightning fast. Jacoby Jones is the one that got y'all to the Super Bowl.
No, he ain't.
Ball.
He's not.
Oh my God.
Stop. So you're gonna tell me that one catch? That's the one thing that got us there. We didn't have one of the best defenses in the league. Joe Flacco didn't have arguably the best postseason ever. Come on, stop it, bro.
Flacco went off. Yeah, he played himself into a contract that he couldn't keep up with. Flacco played himself into some money.
Yeah.
He was balling.
I get it.
That's because they ran the ball. When you run the ball, you can pass it.
Bro. Like, Torrey Smith, no one at one point was not guardable.
That's a lie.
Stop
it, easy.
1,100 yards? What are you talking about?
His speed. He had speed.
But why, though? Why does that speed work, bro? Why does that speed work?
Play action.
Joe Flacco is an elite quarterback?
I'm not saying Joe Flacco is an elite quarterback. What I'm saying is that the Ravens ran the ball well and played great defense.
Torrey Smith had 1,100 yards that season. You tell me
Why though?
Flacco, who is not elite, got Torrey 1,100 yards, and he's not a factor. This is regular season, 1,100 yard receiving, and he's not a good fucking wide receiver with Joe Flacco.
That's not what I said. I never said Torrey Smith wasn't a good wide receiver.
Saying, when did Cam have
You just
that?
said we went from elite. We went from elite to good. We went from elite to good. But you're right.
Okay.
I honestly don't think Cam Newton had multiple. You're right. I don't know that he had. We might need to look that up. I'm not sure if he had multiple 1,000-yard receivers.
We're gonna come back to this one.
Right.
We're getting a little bit over time. So this is the last question. It's a yes or no question. All right. Y'all ready? Yes or no question. All right. I probably ask this every episode. But is black quarterbacks here to stay, or is it a fad?
Ooh, yeah. Let's talk about it.
No talk about it. It's just
Are we talking about? Are we talking about black?
Did you
All
hear?
right, I'll start off.
It's
Are we
yes
talking
or
about?
no?
Yes,
So
yes
I
or no.
gotta
Kev.
clarify.
Yes or
I
no.
got a quarterback.
No.
I gotta clarify. I
No,
gotta
it's yes or no.
clarify. I gotta clarify though, because you look at a Justin Love, who's known as a pocket passer, but they're talking about like he's not an improviser. If we talk about like a Jalen Hurts, is that type of black quarterback, or are we talking about a Justin Love or Patrick
You haven't
Mahomes?
seen him play in the NFL. Stop.
No, I understand that, but we're talking about the
NFL.
right now. There's
Is
only
black-
a couple boxes that they fit in.
Is
Yes,
black
they're here to
quarterback-
stay. Yes.
Thank you. That's all.
The athleticism can't be denied, and when you put someone who has the ball that much in their hands
Yes or no?
in that
Yes or
position,
no?
the answer is yes.
Yes or no? Black quarterbacks here to stay or it's a fad?
Here to stay, yes.
I give it a yes.
Just to be different, I'm saying no.
Why? Go in on it.
Yeah, I gotta
Nope,
hear
You
the
said it
word.
was yes or no.
No,
We're
explain.
Oh,
gonna leave
told me
it.
it was yes or no.
We're gonna leave it for next episode.
No,
Okay.
fuck that. I want to hear it
And
now.
right now,
All right, you want to hear why? All right, I'm
no,
gonna give you.
you can't.
No.
Okay.
You can't.
Oh, we gotta hold on.
Leave it.
Okay.
I'm going with no as well.
Oh no. We need to handle this shit.
Nope.
This shit. Hell nah. Nah.
I disagree.
Nah.
Stay
I
tuned.
disagree.
Stay tuned.
Back it on. Hold on. Nah.
Stay
I disagree.
Next
I disagree
episode.
completely.
Next episode, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it for next episode. This is the question I want to leave it with. Boom. Fellas, hey, everybody, thank you for joining us on the We'll Get There in a Minute podcast. We will get there in a minute. We went through a lot of different topics. Pleasure. Hope you guys enjoy it. Give us feedback, comment, whatever you need to do. We will post out links. We will keep you guys coming with feedback and news all the time. Appreciate y'all, everybody.
This ain't the life that we chose, but it's the life that we live in. No, we belong on the top, but we ain't tripping, cause we'll get there